earning and spending. You have checked through where you got the money you spent last year. That is, was it active or passive income? And if your income was below, have you worked out something to ensure that you have improved your income? Saving for basic emergency fund. We all have instances where you may need some funds urgently. Do you have that fund that is somewhere in place that you can just access within a short time? Be it for maybe something which is spoiled, be it for medical and all those other things. Examining the debt status. The best investment decisions in the previous year. The worst decisions in the previous year. Undertaking a personal finance health check. Setting and resetting your financial goals. Assessing your debt. Budgeting and checking through the mistakes or the items that made you not achieve the budget as you had planned, or which affected your budgeting. Is it income? Is it spending? And how you're doing, what you're doing to fix it. Retirement savings, insurance, investment strategy, protecting your income, preserving your assets, financial plan affecting the family. My name is Jacie. Welcome to Just World, and what we have just went through is the highlights of our previous video. Have you reviewed your previous year's goals? And what is your financial health at this point in time? And what do you plan to do in the current year to improve the situation? On this channel, we talk about finance, personal development, travel, and community service. So, let's now head straight to today's topic. A very happy new year to each and every one of you. Thank you so much for coming back to join us in this new year. This is our very first video, and we appreciate your continued support, and we look forward to working more and to also getting to interact with you more. If you would like to connect with us, please follow us on our socials or comment down below, and we will reach out to you. After reviewing our previous year's goals, it is time now to work on a new year, new plan. But should I call it a new plan? It's indeed not a new plan, because if you have been following this channel for a while, you know we set short-term, medium-term, and long-term goals, which means you're not starting afresh. The only thing you're actually doing is reviewing. What are short-term goals? These are goals that you can achieve within a year, which is most of the time what you review on an annual basis. Medium-term goals is from 1 year, 1 month up to 5 years. Then a long-term goals is over 5 years. My plea to you is, if you have not already come up with your goals, it is never too late. For those who are continuing by reviewing, it is a great idea. So on today's topic, we are going to just check through among our goals. Remember, our goals are not only financial, they involve a lot. Check out our previous video on the specific goals that we had highlighted. I'm going to link the videos down below so that you can catch up if you missed any of the videos, and just to be able to catch up and be able to plan afresh. The first question I have for you is, have you set your goals? Whether short-term, medium-term, or long-term. And if you have set, and it is not the very first time you're setting, did you review when we did our previous video? what we said is the best time to review your goals is the last month of the year. Unlike most people who have New Year resolutions, for us, we always advocate for reviewing your goals at the end of the year, not at the beginning. That way, you will be able to assess what you achieved and what you did not achieve, and assess what you are going to do about it in the new year and in the coming period. Let us just say this. A new year does not mean the 1st of January. A new year can be a first chapter of your life. You don't have to always say that your year starts in January. It can actually start in June. Depends on how you plan yourself. So once you decide when your new year is, review your goals the previous month before you start a new year. Why do you do this? When you start a new year, you're all hyped by the festive season. You're always thinking about Christmas, about New Year, about partying and all that. And when the year starts and you don't have your plan starts failing from that point. Because that means your month of January or your first month has gone to waste because you're still evaluating what you want to do. Comment down below if you're a culprit of the chance of such incidences where you lose the first month of the year still thinking that you're making New Year resolutions. There's nothing like New Year resolution, nothing like that. It is your goals that you set. But if you still feel like calling your goals your resolutions, it is still fine. But the best approach is to say that you're planning your goals, and your goals must be in place. Not at the beginning of the year, but as early as it can get. It doesn't matter the age, it doesn't matter the time of the year. Of course, most of the times you will say, maybe the kids cannot plan. Even kids plan to work hard and pass. How many kids come back and say, this was my work plan and that is why I was able to pass my exams? So planning and goal setting is for everyone. Resolutions are totally different things. If you feel resolutions are more important than goals, comment down below. And maybe as you comment, you need to tell me what you feel like the difference between the two and why you would want to call them resolutions and not goals. Yeah, comment down below. So, for purpose of this video, we are going to only focus on financial goals. And the first thing we're going to talk about is, what does it entail? Financial goals entail making money, spending money, saving, and investing. So, if you go back to your previous year, how did you spend your money? How much did you invest? How much did you save? And how much did you spend? If you're having an issue with your budgeting, have you worked on it? Because it's not a new chapter, it's a continuation of your chapter. How you better yourself is what matters the most. Comment down below if you have already categorized that and you did a review of your financial health, maybe last year, or you have already done at the beginning of the year. The next thing is writing your goals down. The smartest way of achieving your goals is writing them down, because at the very least, when you sit down and you analyze them, you can tell which ones are achievable within which timelines. At that point is when we call them SMART goals. Specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time-bound. Once you have them listed down, you will be able to assess whether they are SMART. And the most important thing is to ensure that you put a specific timeline. The truth of the matter is we have to be ambitious, But at the same time, it is important to be real. If it is something you cannot achieve maybe within a year, or you need maybe 5 years, don't try to push yourself to 1 year. For instance, if your finances at the moment do not allow you to afford a home, you can start working towards a home, but that does not mean that you postpone the goal. You just start today, because maybe even if you give it 5 years, if you don't start working on it today, you will not even achieve it in the 10 years that you are talking about or you are working with. On to the next thing. How do we set our goals? Like I said, they must be smart and realistic. So the first thing I would do is prioritize. First, what is more important and urgent? For instance, you can't start saving for a house or for a home or for a car when you don't have an emergency fund, which is one of the key things most people forget all the time. So the first thing you need to review actually this year is whether you have an emergency fund. And if you have it in place, is it realistic? What do we mean by emergency fund? If you lost your income today, can you survive for at least 3 months? Ideally, it should be 6 months. But at the very least, try and ensure if you don't have your income today, you can be able to survive 3 months without the job as you figure out how to create another form of income. It can either be a business going down, it can be a job loss. So it doesn't mean like it's exclusive to a certain category of people. The next thing is what is achievable and put specific timelines. We said you must be ambitious. So don't be restricted by the fact that you cannot buy a home today, so now you're not planning for that home, or maybe you feel you cannot buy a house or a home or a car in 5 years. Who knows? Maybe if you work extra hard, if you create another income source, you can do all that even within a shorter period. All you need is to have a timeline and ensure you have laid down the ways of achieving those goals. Of course, I'm not going to repeat, but the third thing is SMART goals. So just ensure you are on point on that. The next thing is setting a realistic budget. If your earning is a specific amount, if you set your budget of over and above and you don't have several sources of income, how do you intend to achieve that goal? You're just setting yourself up to fail. So start from the basics by ensuring that your budget is in line with your income and you're able to track that, and you are in a position to increase your income in case that is the only way out, or you can cut your costs if you have to. The next thing is savings. Savings is for so many purposes. First, we said is your emergency fund should be in place. Second, when it comes to saving, you should ensure that you know what you're saving for. We cannot overemphasize this enough, and I will also link the videos down below where we discussed savings in details. Then last, it's not actually the last, but it's the last thing I'll talk about today, is if you set everything in place but you're not monitoring, how will you know that you're progressing? So the next one is monitor progress of each and every goal that you have set for yourself, so that you can know when maybe to cut costs if you need to cut costs, or when to increase income if you need to increase income. Okay, comment down below if you monitor your progress or you're just running without checking what you need to do. The next thing is goal charts. I'll only highlight how I would do them or how I actually do them. Number one, writing them down. You have to know what you want and you have to write it down so that you can monitor yourself. If, for instance, if you have 10 items that you need at the top of your mind, when you get money, you don't know which is number one. Perhaps whatever you buy would have been considered as number 5 if you already had a laid down plan, or you can postpone something and sort some other urgent matters. The second thing is determine timelines, and of course they must be realistic, but we said you have to be ambitious. That is why we said you cannot just say you will hang on to one source of income and expect to get to the next level. Of course, you have to know how much it will cost you to achieve your goals. So you list down the cost. Ensure you have the current costs. What I have seen in the past is when I'm doing my assessment, maybe I'm doing it from the top of my mind and I realize I underestimate the cost, only to later realize that I should have I needed to budget for a higher amount. Shop around so that you know what is available, how much it is, and how much you will need to come up with. And of course, putting into cognizance inflation and the changing cost of living. Of course, you have to have a game plan of how to achieve. Maybe if, for instance, your goal is big and your income at the moment, even if you take a facility or even if you save, you might not achieve it in the short term. You may decide to increase your income. You can double, you can triple, you can sleep less and work more and see if you can achieve that goal. The next thing is ways of reaching your goals. You should have them in place. For instance, if I want to buy a car for instance, do I want to buy it this year, next year, or the following year? Let's always be cognizant of the time value of money. You may say you're going to take a loan, but if you do your computation, you find out that you're going to pay so much interest. But the question is, if you do not take that loan and you wait until you save, will the cost of the car be the same as at the time you would have taken a loan and maybe finished paid off? Or will it even be higher than the principal and the interest you will have paid on the loan? Comment down below with your take. Would you prefer to take a loan today and get it sorted out and pay interest, or you save for 5 years and end up buying it the same price as if you would have taken a loan? Comment down below. Let's engage on this aspect. I think that's what I will talk about for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you're new, kindly subscribe. If you're returning, thank you so much for always coming back. On this channel, we talk about finance, personal development, travel, and community service. If this is your kind of content, kindly subscribe and hit the notification bell so that you're notified every time we upload a new video. See you on our next one. Bye.